We are built for this network, for the strong, not the weak.
Okay.
I'm thinking about the show the next day.
Okay. Sorry for the technical difficulties. I'm back. Okay. This is... Woo! Man, I was spazzing out. Okay, thank you guys for tuning in. Craig Gant said hello, Charlotte.
Okay.
Sorry for you guys for... Hey, this is what happened when you do things live. You might have technical difficulties. The sound went out, and I couldn't figure out anything to do but to reset the computer. I knew if I reset it, you guys would still be on here, and I could come back. And I did, damn it. I'm Gumby, damn it. Welcome. I'm still sending out alerts. Everything is gone haywire. This is the End of the Bench podcast, hosted by yours truly, along with Reddy Kev and Charlotte. I have to make some announcements. I got to get used to making these announcements. First and foremost, I acknowledge my family, the Pollards, the Whitmores, the Pattersons, the Turners, Battles, Cotton, Harpers, Bailey, Shaws, Thompson, Chris Lansdowne, Liggins, Duncan, Wilson, Johnson, and Williams family. Thank you for tuning in. Please hit the like button. Please hit the share button. We are on Spreaker.com. We are on, as I say every week, this is a podcast. Podcast means you can catch it on Spreaker.com, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Castbox, Deezer, Amazon Prime, and Podcast Addict. You can also catch me at HRap_B on Twitter. It is streaming live right now. You can catch us on Twitch at theendofthebench.com, TheEndofthebench.com. Well, no .com. The End of the Bench. And please go to theendofthebench.com and subscribe to theendofthebench.com. Okay. OMG, I'm spazzing out. This is starting off the worst ever. But we the best. So that's what happens. If we wasn't great, the devil wouldn't be working on me right now, right?
That's right.
With that being said, welcome to the End of the Bench podcast, where as we have adult conversations about people, places, and things that affect our community. Tonight, we're going to talk about friendship. Friendship. Even though I sent out some of y'all got the one from last week and it said money again. We're not talking about money anymore. We're talking about friendship this evening. Thank you for tuning in. If you are on the Spreaker.com side, hit the like, hit the heart. If you are on the YouTube side, hit the share, hit the like, hit the subscribe. When you see subscribe, right next to it, it will be a little bell that says notifications. This allows you to never, ever miss one of our wonderful Built for This Network programs. And if you're on YouTube, it's either Reddy Kev or HRap. We are ready to go. This, as I stated, woo, that was a lot, man. I got a big mouth, and that was a lot. Hey, day 32. Day 32 for Joe Madison's fast for voting rights. Day 32. Contact your congressman, contact your state representative, contact your governor, contact anybody who's somebody in government in your city, state, county, and let them know, hey, why is Joe Madison not eating? Ask them, why is Joe Madison not eating? What is he protesting for when everybody in the United States of America should have equal voting rights with no exceptions? If you're a citizen of the United States of America, according to the Constitution, you should be able to vote without all this gerrymandering and all these line drawings and all this nonsense that we go through. We need to do that. Thank you. Now, this evening, with our technical difficulties, with all the nonsense we've dealt with up until this point, caused by yours truly, we're going to talk about friendship. Friendship is something that we've been trying to get a grasp of since your earliest memories are with your friends. Your most important memories are with your friends, more than likely. We love our families, but guess what? We spend more time with our friends. If you don't believe that, just think of the first person that comes to your mind. I bet you it's not your mother, your father, your cousin, uncle. It is your quote unquote best friend. Nobody has a best cousin. Nobody has a favorite parent, but we all have best friends. What I want to do tonight is talk about the intricacies of having friends. What is a friend? Things of that nature. Let's start off again. You know what? I'm going to stick to the script this week. I'm not going to throw y'all the curve like I did last week. We're going to start with Kev, then to Charlotte, then to myself. What is a friend? I'm listening.
All right. Well, in my opinion, I think a friend is, like you said, we ain't talking about that. Because, you know, it's like they are supposed to be close to you, right? These are people that choose to be close to you, right? This is a chosen relationship, not a bloodline relationship, right? So, it's people that you have chose to like, to, quote, befriend, right? To trust, to share joy with, to share conversation. And a true friend is either someone you can debate with, can have somewhat of a disagreement, and still be cool. Learn from each other, right? So all the things that you would help that would help you grow as a person, that other person is your friend to help you do that. So I think a friend is someone that you choose to help you grow, to help you navigate life, bounce ideas off of, and again, like we have said, it's someone you choose, not someone that is forced upon you.
Charlotte?
I also think that friends are here to kind of help us along our journey. Like those of us who are believers, right, in Christ, we know that this is not our home, right? That we know that we just passing through. And I think of our friends as being the ones that keep us company on that journey. So just like Raider Kev, I think we learn from each other, we grow from each other. Some are meant to stay, some are meant to just teach us a lesson and go on a different path. But I always see our friends as people who bring us joy, who we can turn to when we need comfort, and who we also love to give those things to. But definitely, I feel like, of course, family, I feel like God places our family also in our lives. But I feel like our friends are here to help us on our journey home.
Wow, that was powerful. Okay, listen to you guys. I'm going to take a little bit of both of what you guys said. I say it's the difference in family and relatives. I think your friends are your chosen family. Your relatives are chosen by your parents. Your mother gives you a set of relatives. Your father gives you a set of relatives. Your family are your friends. Because, those are quote unquote relatives that you picked. And as Charlotte said, some of them around for a reason, others around for a season, others around for a lifetime. Me and Charlotte, we go back to our teen years, and we are old enough to know about older teen years. We're old enough to remember teen years, so we're just going to do it that way. But like me and Raider Kev, we built we are family at this point. It hasn't even taken a long time. We talked about this today. We're connected. We're spiritually connected, and we're like-minded, and we stop each other from doing things that may hurt the other, even though the other doesn't realize that. And that's where friends are safety nets. And you know what? You know what I would say. This is something, and I would love to hear you guys' response. And I'm still looking over my phone because I'm still sending out notifications. But I would like your opinion on this. Your friends, in a lot of cases, not in all cases, because it's somebody going. Not everybody. Your friends, in some cases, are more honest with you than your family, because your family will tolerate you because I love you. Your friends will go, hey, you're looking like a fool right now. You need to stop. Well, your family will just support nonsense because they think that's love. Your friends give you a different kind of love, and it's coming from the same place, but they won't tolerate it. A good friend will go, like, and I'm not trying to throw it up in his face, like Rated Kev had an idea recently. If he want to expound on it, he can. I knew if he presented it the way he presented it to me, he was going to be on the internet with boxing gloves on. And I said, hey, Kev, I don't know. And me and him had one of our long, knock down, drag out debates. And he said, I'm not going to do it. But then, to yesterday, he presented it the same. He didn't change a word of what his feelings. I mean, he didn't change the thought, but he changed the words. And he even gave me credit. And I was like, and that's what a friend is. A friend catches that and say, hey, this hence, you can tell Donald Trump don't have a lot of friends. But anyway, what do y'all think?
Yeah, I mean, really to break that down, and that's a great example, right? Because true friendship can survive criticism, right? And really, that's what it's really about. Because if this is someone you've chosen to be close to, okay, then obviously it's not just out of convenience. I think a lot of times, like you just talked about, relatives
You want to add anything, Charlotte?
I want to say that I agree with both of you. Being an only child, my friendships are that much more precious to me. Both my parents have passed, so my friends are my family, and my relatives in a lot of ways. You know, they either adopt me or I adopt them, one way or the other. But I always let them know, if you're my friend, then you're stuck with me. For the most part, it would take a lot, for me to walk away from friendship. And I was going to say the fact that we choose to be friends with those who are our friends, I think it is more meaningful because it's a choice. Like both of you have said, we don't have that choice with our relatives. So we know if you choose to be my friend, I know that you really have my best interest at heart. And when you say things, it is genuinely because you care about me, not because you're obligated to, because we're related. And so those things mean a lot. And I try to be mindful of the way that I present things to my friends, or I say things to my friends, and let them know it's always done in love. So if I don't say it the right way, please don't take it to heart or think that, how we say at church, charge it to my head and not my heart. So I don't mean it in a bad way or a malicious way. It's just because I care about you and I want to see the best for you.
Let me add on some of that. Yeah, I totally agree. Man, that's a beautiful way to put it, because our families, they have a perception of us. Our friends know who we are. Let me give y'all an example, and then we'll move on to the next topic. My Aunt Marie, God rest her soul, we had the same birthday. We birthday twins. I don't remember who transitioned in our family, but somebody had transitioned, and we were meeting at my Aunt Marie's house. And my man Big Illinois was there. Me, Big Illinois, and my mom went to the repast. And y'all know, the dude I am on here, I'm loud. I have no volume inside of my head. I'm so loud, it's ridiculous. And it's not other people see it as aggressive. Your friends know that's just he loud, But the funny thing is, in my mother's family, I've always been known as Little Quiet Brian. And my Aunt Marie walked into the house, and me and Big Illinois sitting right here. He was sitting right in front of me. I was sitting right here, and I'm just relaxing. And she walked in and said, "Look at you, Brian. You still quiet." And Big Illinois looked at me and said, "Do these people know you?" I was like, "I'll tell you later." And that's the difference in friends and family. Your family, they think they know who you are. Your friends, you spend more time with your friends than anybody. It's some people that in this world that will say, when they see me, they say, "What's up with," they don't say Big Illinois, they say his real name, Ant. "What's up with Ant? What's up with Pat? What's up with Craig?" And then they say this other dude's name, but I don't want to say what they say about Charlotte knows the other guy, but it's an insult with him. But they ask, because if you see one of us, you're going to see the rest of us. So that's the beauty in friendship, because these are people who, this is your chosen family. We can pretend, "Oh man, I love my family." We all do. You don't even, and S. Ray Care said, you don't choose to love your cousin. You choose to love your friends. Your friends' love is it, and maybe that's why people get so upset when their friends hurt their feelings, and they, because all you can do is say, "Well, I chose to love you, and now you kick me in the head." But yeah. But seriously, that's the beauty in friendship, because we are choosing these people. These people are important to us in a myriad of ways. And again, Big Illinois, I love my brother. I love my brother dearly. Big Illinois knows me 10 times better than my brother. Patrick, Craig, they know me. Patrick and Craig, even though me and my sisters grew up in the same house, we're extremely close. But Patrick and Big Illinois know me better than my sisters, because I've spent more time. It's a gap in age, for one. They're women, another, and I spend more time with Big Illinois and Patrick. That's just the way friendship works. With that being said, we've talked about the closeness. We talked about getting together. Charlotte, then Kev, how important are friendships?
I had to think about this question too and reflect on my friends. But then that leads us to a question that's going to come up later in terms of how we define friends. I think that makes a big difference as well. So as you know, I look at childhood and I think about even high school, and we think everybody is our friend, right? But as we grow older, we grow wiser, and then we come to value friendship as being selective. It's not everybody. And we learn from our experiences, whether they're good or bad. So then you start separating. You start saying colleagues, or you start saying acquaintances, right? So I think there are different levels of friendship. You have your, like Brian talked about, Aunt and Pat and Craig, and he immediately called them brothers, right? So that's your tight circle, right? These are my brothers. This is my level of family. And then you have some that you don't feel that close to, but they're also there's a little outer ring, right? And then just like a ripple in the ocean, we go out further, and we have all those different levels of friends. But to me, your true friends are those ones that you can talk to about anything, and you won't get offended, and they won't get offended, and you can just, be yourself. You don't have to put on a front. You don't have to present just part of yourself. You can just really be yourself, and they can be themselves, and you just really enjoy learning and growing with them and just being in their company. Like even this friendship between Brian and Raider Kev, that to me, that sounds like a genuine friendship. They're brothers too, just not as long as Brian's been with his other brothers. But I think that's a friend, like someone you don't have to put a front up with, or they don't have to pretend or hold back or do anything like that. You can just be free to be yourself, and they can be themselves, and you just learn and grow and enjoy each other's company.
Kev?
Yeah, I totally agree with that, and I think the importance of that is, I think it helps you remain sane. I think if we didn't have anyone that can truly bounce ideas off of, that would keep you humble, that would lift you up when you're down, all the things we need to remain sane. I think there would be a lot more insanity. You know what I'm saying? So these things that we foster is I think it's needed. I think it's part of what God has put in us to help us grow. Those desires for attachment to people outside of our immediate family. I think that's something that God put in us to help us, and I think even I think it's a blessing from God that He has put this in us to want to foster those type of relationships. Because I think it's extremely important for our sanity, if nothing else. So yeah, that's how I feel about it.
I think it's, you know what? You touched on it, man. Friendships keep you sane because we don't spend as much time around our families as we should because we hanging out with our friends. And, like, your family get this snapshot of you. Like, my oldest sister, me and her, we too much alike. Me and my older sister bump heads like rams. And it took me to be almost 50 to realize, literally we had this conversation 6 months ago. I was like, we don't get along because we too much alike. She's an alpha, I'm an alpha. And she at the top of the food chain because she the oldest. I'm at the bottom of the food chain. And I was always fighting to get everybody like Phyllis. So I had to try to get past, I'm not the good person, Phyllis is. And we call her Bo or Teddy. Everybody respected Bo. So they listened to her. And it was always in Little Brian. And I'm like, enough of this. And I couldn't compete with Phyllis on the nice. And I'm sick of being told what to do by my older sister. So I said, we don't get along because you like being at the top. And I've been trying to get up there for 50 years. So that's how me and my sister, up until 2021, we just tolerated each other. We were very close, but we just, hey. So my sister Phyllis is in the middle. So her and my sister got the connection because they're very close in age. And Phyllis always took care of me and like I remind her things that she did. So it's that. So, it's that dynamic. So the friends that we had, me getting friends were always important to me because I was misunderstood. I was quiet Brian. It was quiet Brian because I couldn't say nothing because everybody was telling me what to do. I wasn't quiet because I was naturally quiet. I was just quiet because, hey, and my mother believed in protocol. You're going to do what, you don't know how many times my mother left the house going to school or going to work. Do what Bo says, so I'm going to kick your ass. Like before my mother transitioned, me and my two sisters sat in the room with my mother, and we was like, I was like, hey, I got a bone to pick with you. She was like, what? I was like, you always said, do what Bo said, I'm going to kick your ass. But sometimes Bo would tell us to do the wrong thing. I still got a whooping. I was the youngest. And she was like, hey, you should have known to do better. And we all laughed about it. So our friends, I used to have to be a hothead. Big Illinois, Patrick, Craig, they knew this from the word go. And the importance of friendship is if you, like Kev said, and you said, Charlotte, we choose these people and these people know us better than we know. Get this. I'm suffering with a back injury. I was in a bad accident in July. I've been jacked up since then. Had to get an MRI. I was claustrophobic. I had a panic attack. I come out of it. Who do I do? I didn't call my sisters. I called Craig. And I'm on the phone with Craig. He's like, man. And I just found out I'm claustrophobic. He was like, you just found out? We knew that years ago. And I'm like, what? He knew I was claustrophobic before I did. And then he reminded me one time he had a Camaro. We were road warriors. It was, hey, it's Thursday. Ain't got nothing to do. Let's go somewhere. And we jumped in the ride, and I freaked out. And I remember I freaked out on the interstate. It was me, Patrick, and Craig, and I freaked out on the interstate. I had a panic attack on the interstate because I was in the back seat of a Camaro. And I erased that, but Craig remembered it. So that's how important friends are. Just imagine, before I went for that MRI, if Craig would have said, hey, man, you're not going to be good with that, then we could have figured something else out. So the importance of friendship is paramount because these are people who are watching you and knowing who you are before you know who you are. Big Illinois has told me things about me. Hey, B, that ain't you, man. You shouldn't even waste your time. And I'm like, no. And he'll just look. Big Illinois not the type of dude. He don't do a whole lot of talking. He gonna say what he say, and if you keep going, all right, man. And that's it. I'm gonna warn you once, and that's it with Big Illinois. Big Illinois not gonna do a whole lot of debating, and I've never seen, put it like this, I've been knowing Big Illinois since I was about 11, 12 years old. I've seen like 3 or 4 people make him angry in 40 years. So that's how important friends are, in my opinion. They tell you everything you need to know, and they're there for you at all times. So, and if anybody want to chime in the chat room, we welcome you to it. And I just saw Sister April Showers in there. Let me interrupt the show because I told April I was going to give her the information to get financing for her dream, and it is the TIF fund, tax. I don't even want to mess it up. It is tax increment financing. Tax increment financing. It was originally designed for to bring redevelopment and infrastructure and businesses to underserved communities. So there you go, April. I told you I was going to get you that information last week. Thank you for coming back. Thank you for the support. Everybody who's coming in, please hit that like button, hit that share button, and do what you can do to help us maintain. Thank you. But that's why I think French, as Kev and Charlotte said, hey, don't try. You gonna give it to me straight. You're gonna be here forever. And Kev said, hey, a lot of people will have nervous breakdowns if it wasn't for friends, because you cannot tell your sisters, brothers, aunts, uncles, cousins, some of them, everything. But your boy or your home girl, or even no matter gender, because I got friends on both sides of the gender spectrum, and they will tell me. And I'm a bull. I'm a lion. I'm a true lion. I growl. And I got a friend, my home girl, Ray Ray. She will simply tell me, B, shut the hell up. You sound stupid. And I'll go, oh, yeah, I do. And that's it. So that's why you need friends. That's why you need friends. Like, my nephew just walked in. I mean, what? He ain't walking, but me and him fight all the time. You know what? The relationship I described with my older sister just fighting all the time, that's me and my oldest nephew. But he's more like a little brother than my nephew, because we're so close in age. And we still tighter than draws, 2 sizes small. But I had to learn how to deal with my nephew, because he a man. And like, just like me and my sister, he ain't to be told what to do. So I was doing to my sister, my sister was doing to me what my mother did to her, and I was pushing it to my nephew, and we had some cantankerous times. But now, as you see, we still friends, and we're friends first. Then he my nephew, then he my little brother, then he my nephew. He my nephew on paper. He my nephew because of Phyllis, but he my little brother in real life. Period. Point blank, period. With that being said, what's the next question? How do you establish friendships? We're going to go with Charlotte, then we're going to go to Kev.
Well, I think friendships usually begin with shared experiences, right? You have to have contact with each other first. And then you got to have something in common. Something draws you together, right? And then I think the test of time is what establishes a friendship. When you go through things and then you have conversations with each other, and then, life happens. So, as we already said, those that are meant to be will still be here. And those that aren't, they just get removed one way or another. You either find out something about them, or they don't like something about you, or something happens and your paths just go in different directions. But I think you establish a friendship first when you have some type of shared experience or contact with someone, and the fact that you had that one link in common is what draws you together, and then it goes from there.
Well, that's kind of what I was going to say. So, but let me add this to it also. So, and this is not something I knew when I was young. This was something right? We want someone that we can trust. So you might not want to just be blunt and say, hey man, but I always tell me the truth, but you feel it out and say, man, trust is so important. I really prefer to hear the truth than someone to lie to. So you establishing those kind of like rules to what we those expectations, right? Another thing you're saying, hey look, I definitely want somebody I can just tell the truth with, man. I don't want to have to put on a facade. I don't want to have to put on a mask. I want to have somebody I can really just talk to, and you navigate those conversations and you throw those in there and you see the response, right? You get the proper feedback, you say, okay, all right, we got that, and then you might want to say, you know what, man, I'm really someone that has a strong relationship with God, man. I want somebody I can share my relationship with God with so we can build on that, So all of the things you're looking for in a friend, I think that's how you should establish that friend. By having those conversations, you might not want to be blunt because it's almost like you got a checklist. You don't want to have that. That's kind of like, a little too sterile. Hey, do you like this? Do you like that? Do you like this? It don't make sense, right? But you just add those things into your initial conversations that building up that relationship to see if you have, if what you feel you have is real and something you can truly build on. So then once you realize these things and you say, you know what, this is someone I really, really feel I can trust, I can talk to, then you start building on it. That's when you start making those choices. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's how we start establishing that friendship, by being honest, by throwing out your expectations and what you're looking for, throw it out there. And see how you get, what type of response you get. Then now you have someone you can truly, truly have a relationship with that will really help you grow. Because that's what we're all looking for. We're looking for growth, right? And that's what we're looking for in our friends. So I think that's one of the, along with what Charlotte was saying, right? Common ground, having something in common with each other. Then you build on that by understanding expectations and building on those expectations and then saying, okay, this is someone I really consider a sister, someone I really consider a brother, and you build on it and you grow and you have, hopefully a lifelong relationship.
Yeah. What I like to add, I ain't got a lot to add to that because y'all covered everything I was going to say. You establish a friendship with trust, first and foremost. Like me, my life, man, look, let me just say this, though. I lived in a tough situation, but I haven't had a hard life. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I've watched struggle. I haven't had any. Because if I was hungry, I went over to my sister Phyllis' house. If I needed some money, I went to my sister Teddy. I needed somebody to defend me, I went to my brother. My brother was heavy in the streets. I ain't had no problems. My sister Phyllis always had a whole house full of food. Couldn't be hungry. My mom kept a house full of. My mom kept me dressed nice. I lived in the hood, but I ain't have a hood life. So my life experience has been living through my sister, who got into corporate America at a very young age and took over. I'm like, I could do that. Craig, being involved with Craig's family. Craig had a successful family, so you see what you can get. So I was always able to listen. I learned at a young age, you can learn from other people's life and mistakes instead of making your own. And I still made more than my share. With that being said, I always went to friendship, how to establish friendship, by my 8th grade teacher, Miss Adams, right? Miss Adams used to always say, when every market period, she was like, you got an A. It's up to you to maintain it. So I always go, when I meet you, you got everything. You my man, you my friend today. Now, if we end up down the road with you getting a D, that's your D. You earned that. You know what I'm saying? So that's how it is with me, and I grade with a curve, because people assume that I always label me a hothead because I did give you that A. You walked in the door with the A. And next thing you know, you at a C, and I don't offer no extra credit points. You know, so you're going to stay at that C for life. If you get down to a C, you are a C forever. But most of the people I've done that with, they haven't ruined it. So when you start off with that trust, I think just, you know, because, you know, a lot of people, you can't trust everybody. You can't. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. If you live your life clean, and I don't mean clean as in not making a mistake, clean as in open. Because I tell you everything about me because I ain't ashamed of nothing. And if you sell me out, that's on you, man. You lost a good friend because let me tell y'all something in regards to me and how I establish friendships. I got a buddy who will tell you he my friend today. He tried to sleep with my girlfriend. And it has been a time, this joker, I worked a 12-hour day, went home, got my car, and drove 30 miles to get him because he ran out of gas. Hey, the dude, Craig just said, no, trust is established when you see a cat about to get smacked. I don't want to tell, hey, that's, yeah. Well, what that story he was telling in the text, one time he saved my life. I was about to get beat to death by this dude about your size, ready to care, about 6'4", and Craig punched him up off me. He said that's when trust is my man. But seriously, you know, I went to get him, and I was just showing him in the beginning. I'll say, I know you found out that I tried to sleep with your girlfriend. I gave him the trust, and to this day, he'll tell people, "That's my brother, that's my friend," because I never let him know you got F, bro. I don't hate you, but I just can't trust you. And to me, you walk through the door, you walk in the door, you let people know, hey man, if you, oh man, you my friend, okay. I'm gonna need you to hold up to that, and all I need you to do is be loyal to me. Treat me like I treat you. You know, if I got $1 million and you never have a dime, all you have to do is never steal from me. Or never lie on me. See, people think this trust thing is, hey man, you gotta die for me. No, just be you, and I'ma be me. Be the same dude you were the first day I met you, and that's why Patrick, Craig, Big Illinois, and the people around me, I have, as a matter of fact, Kev, you are my newest friend. Everybody else around me has been around me for 35 or more years. And that's why, because they have been true to the situation from the day we met, and it was a whole lot of fun. 99% of the people that I have around me, the day we met, we had a whole lot of fun. And every time we leave each other, it's like we put a comma in that sentence. I don't have to talk to Craig until December of next year. And whatever we were talking about December 9th, 2021, we'll pick up right there and keep going. So I personally believe that's how you just maintain who you were that day. And the fake people, they can't do it. You walk around with two faces, at some point you're going to forget to put the other face on. And the jerk gonna be, it's the jerk me. Yeah, we knew you that, and we left you alone. I mean, and that's just me. That's just me. I give you the rope. I give everybody in the world a rope, and I stand them on the ice block. People like Craig, Patrick, Big Illinois, and a host of others. That ice block has not even melted one drop. Other people, I done actually had to put another ice block up under, and they melted through that. So I just I just believe that you give people enough rope to hang themselves, either you're gonna live or you're gonna die. And even if you die, I still help you, but I'll just keep it to myself. You're not trustworthy, and I'm not gonna be angry with you, but I just can't deal with you because it's gonna corrupt. You know, when you pretend to be somebody's friend, you create peace in the world and chaos in your mind. And that's why a lot of people think I'm a hothead, because I was doing that. I hold it in, and then I would explode. Instead of just saying, hey, man, you're a clown. Stop. and then it could be a conversation and you move forward. With that being said, it's the term friend taken or friendship taken too lightly. Kev, then Charlotte.
I think in some aspects it is, and I think we've talked about the evil social media, right? Because that's how they define it, right? Facebook, you have friends, right? All these social media outlets, they define it as friends, right? And I think young people take that to heart, right? Because your social media friends doesn't make you a true friend. When you came up the way we came up, and you had none of these outlets, you established friends face to face. It was very rare I had a friend even across town, much less in a different state, right? Your friends were on your side of town, on your block, in essence, right? Very seldom were they across town, much less across state lines, right? So you was able to look at them face to face, have conversations, real conversations with them face to face, see and interact with them, and that's how it was established. You are my friend, okay? Today, people think it's trusting and amen.
And home, if you go on social media, it's like any of those genuine friendships, like we're sitting here talking about that we have. Like they're her friends today, and then next week they want to be friends with somebody else. Things like that. Like it's very temporary. And now my students, also in 7th and 8th grade, their friendships are all over the place, right? Because these people that they grow up with, who they spend so much time with, they've gone together in 5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade, like two peas in a pod. And we have a friendship like that now, one of the girls, and they don't think, right? Because we have one student who actually sent, some very inappropriate photos to her boyfriend, right? Are we supposed to, have those in 7th and 8th grade? Not really. The boyfriend shared it with her best friend, right? Who, again, they grew up together. They've been in the same class together for years and years. Every time you see one, you see the other. They're together so much they even start looking alike. Like it was hard for us to tell which one was, A and which one's B. They dress alike, their hair is alike, makeup is alike, everything is alike. So the boyfriend shared with her B, right? B shares it with another girl. They created a whole classroom group. And now her pictures have been circulated among everybody in the class. So now she's transferred out of school.
Wow.
But this was her friend, right? And I keep seeing that over and over. We have to pull them aside. Okay, you think this is your friend. Your friend is over here keeping you from doing your assignment, letting your grades slide. That's not a friend. So now we have to teach these younger generations what a true friend is, right? And again, my heart breaks for my daughter because she is the best friend in the world. She gives, and gives till it hurts and then some. But when she needs that friend, they're nowhere there to be found. I said you couldn't pay me enough to go back to the younger generations, but if I could just to be her friend, so she could actually see the type of friends that we have, that's the one instance I would. And then these younger generations, like you said, Kev, our children, grandchildren, these younger kids, they really don't know what a true friend is. And their concepts are so different from what our idea of a friend is.
Sorry again. Shout out to Comcast for having this janky Hey man, you would think I ain't paying my bills, man. Look, my cable's on auto pay and I'm still going out. Shout out to Comcast. But you know what? Shout out to StreamYard because my internet went out. you know, that white thing on the box, it went red. And then I came back and y'all, I was watching Kev on my phone. So shout out to StreamYard for keeping the show going. Friendship. What was I don't even forget. I was so caught up trying to reset my system. What was the question?
Friend not taken seriously enough.
Oh, I definitely think friends is not taken seriously enough. Because again, man, I'm a blessed individual. I have done, put it like this. I had free school, dropped out, and then went out and got it. And then got my student loan canceled. That's how lucky I am. You see what I'm saying? So I would like, I mean, friendship isn't taking it seriously because look at the things that we're talking about. Support, trust, help, sometimes financial backing, sometimes emotional backing. Those are the foundations of life. You know, you need somebody to support you. As I stated a couple of weeks ago, if you took a baby, a child baby, a human baby, a puppy, and a kitten, and you put them amongst in the woods, the kitten would grow up to be a cat, meow, chase mice, lick himself clean. The dog would bark, eat bones, chase the cat, and do dog stuff. The baby would probably either die or try to be a dog or a cat. You said the cat, the kitten, the puppy, and the baby in a den of monkeys, a den of apes, chimpanzees, or what have you. The cat is going to be meow, the dog going to bark, and the kid going to be doing like this, and trying to climb trees like the monkey. So we need each other. So people don't realize, whereas you don't like me because I wear the best clothes, or the girls like me, or I'm funnier than you, or I'm more successful than you, or what have you, you're really killing yourself by cutting that person off. When you don't maximize the people who are around you, even if you don't consider them a friend, you're not hurting that person. Because if again, I go back to my friends, I would pop off at people. But guess how I learned how to calm down? Looking at Big Illinois, never pop off, and I'm starting to feel stupid now. You know, I can remember Big Illinois said, "Man, I don't even know." And again, this goes back to what I said. He don't say a lot, but when he start talking, you better listen. One time I was pissed off, and he was like, "Man, why you let people get on your skin like that?" That's all he said. He didn't go into why I shouldn't. Why you let? I watched my man Craig. This dude has been in government intelligence. That's wildly successful. I see Patrick. Patrick is a people person. I am not. I am, but I don't tolerate a lot. But I started to tolerate more because of Patrick. So, you know, Irene, funny, jovial. She gonna let you know how she feel, but she still gonna show you love. Charlotte, every time you see it, Charlotte you see on this show, that's who she was in 1984, 1986, 1988, and so forth and so on. My sister Phyllis. Phyllis has struggled in life and brought people into her house in the midst of her struggle. So I've learned from other people, and when you label somebody, identify them with your mind state, who they are, because you took a soundbite of their life, you took a day, an hour, sometimes even a few minutes, and then tell them who they are. You're that. Now, I'm not who I am. I'm not who I was 6 months. Hey, I'm not who I was before this damn back injury. And Kev can attest to that. Hell, I'm not who I was in October. So we don't take the time, for one, to tell our friends. Like I'm telling my friends, they listening now. Man, I hope they knew how I felt, and my sisters. But our friends, we don't take the time to appreciate the beauty in a friendship. Because, as I told y'all a few weeks ago, Craig got a dope wife. He a dope dude. And, hey, how you doing, B? How your kids doing? How Nicole doing? How this, da-da-da-da. Hey, man, when you going back to school, though? No, ain't no football. We're not talking about football right now. Before we get into football, when you going back to school? And that's what, so people don't cherish those moments. Some people go, well, why was he judging you like that? No. He knew how successful he was, and he knew I had those same capabilities. So I'm going to keep asking you this until you do it, or until you come up with a way to be even more successful than me. Because, again, my friends, the dudes who I call my friends, they want me to be on TV right now. They don't want me to be on YouTube. They want me to be on TV. They want me to be bigger than Oprah. You know what I mean? So that's the beauty of friendship. And people don't value that because they just trying to use you. They using you from station to station. They want A to B. Kev could get me to B. Charlotte could get me to C. Big Illinois could get me to D. Who's going to help me get to home plate? Well, actually, you just got to go to home plate. But if you cherish your friendships and your friends will pick you up and carry you around the bases and drop you and then tell you how great you were doing it. I got a friend. Excuse me, because I know he listening too. This dude, just about every time we talk, he tell me, man, you a great dude. You are great. And I'm not exaggerating. Steve Locke. So that's when you have those kinds of people around you. People don't value that anymore. People, he my best friend because I needed $500 and he gave it to me. Now he just a financially sound friend, and that's it. That's it. That's all he is. That's all he is. That's all he gonna be. And again, before I move on, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Go to theendofthebench.com, subscribe, and we are on Twitch. We are on Twitter Live as well as Spreaker.com, The End of the Bench, and YouTube right here with me. Thank you for tuning in to me, myself, Charlotte, and Rated Kev. Every week, every Thursday, it's going down. We talked about the great, do people take it seriously enough? We talked about how do you establish it? We talked about how important. How could you ruin a friendship? I'm going to go to Charlotte, then I'm going to Rated Kev.
Show away from you, but I have some questions that I was thinking about, and they kind of came up again while we're having this discussion. And my question for you, Brian and Raider Kev, is do you think friendships are different between women and men? That's like another layer because personally, I feel like sometimes the women that I've had as friends before that aren't my friends, it's because there's other emotions involved. And I've had this discussion with some of my current girlfriends, and we feel like sometimes women, and it kind of deals with this question in terms of ruining a friendship. Like if I do something that offends another woman or upsets her, she may say she's forgiven me, but in my experience, sometimes they don't really, and they hold a grudge. And I feel like sometimes as well, and I feel like this is friendship, and I also feel like my experience also with my bosses, right? I can't come right out and say, you all know who the bosses of the teachers are, supposedly, right? For the most part. If I have a female one, I feel like not only do they hold a grudge, but they kind of are vindictive. Like you may do something in September, and they won't say like anything. Not only do they hold a grudge, but they November, December go by, and boom, in January, it's thrown back in your face, and you're like, wait a minute, when did I say that? When did I do that? I didn't even know I did that. And here they are bringing it back up again. So So to me, it's like a little, and I'm not saying everybody. I'm just saying in my experience, my male friends never do that. Like if they say, okay, we're good, it's done, it's over with, it's forgotten, it truly is. And for my experience, that's not always the case with women. So I see also my friendships with women being one way and my friendships with men sometimes being another way. So that goes back a little bit to what I said earlier about like layers and ripples.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, my true friends are really my true friends, right? We don't do all that or hold all of that. But I know that those friends that have been removed, from me, or that I've removed myself from, those are the issues we deal with. And I feel like those underlying emotions, I don't know. But that's my question for you. Like, do you, or even, those in the chat right now, do you find your friendships with men are different than your friendships from women? Because I do, and I have.
You want to go first, right, Kel? You want to let me go first?
You chopped at the bit.
No. Yeah, that's okay. I'm gonna make it real primitive. I think men do have better friendships, but it's not because we're better friends. I think it comes from being a little boy. See, our whole, like I say this all the time, and like the first time I said this to Craig, he said, "Man, shut the hell up. You sound stupid." But this is the real story. But I think because women are not, we are built on camaraderie. Like y'all first toys are teaching y'all how to be somebody's mama, somebody's wife. Y'all got dishes and toys and dishes and baby dolls and stuff like that. Our things teach us camaraderie. We get balls. You need somebody to catch that ball when you throw it, so you go get somebody. Tools, and you want to show somebody, hey, it's a competition thing with us too. And at the very primitive level, the physicality helps us out. Y'all think it's cruel and Neanderthalish, if that's a word. It is now. It's gonna be in the dictionary soon, just like ain't. But y'all think it's Neanderthal, but that one thing that makes us friends is this. When you are a little boy and you step out of line, the boys surround you, y'all duke it out. That's Monday. By Wednesday, it's like, okay, Red Kid, we still cool, right? If whoever lost, it's like you have to be that dude friend again, because it's 10 of us. If Rated Kev ain't your friend, we can't play basketball. It's 10 of us. We can't play softball. We can't do the stuff so you suck it up, man. You lost. That's it. On the other hand, y'all just go, from our perspective, y'all just continue to put ink in the water. Like, you don't want to come swimming? I'm gonna throw some ink in the pool. Can't nobody swim. And then it's, I hate her. But with a group of dudes, you getting beat up for that. You might get jumped. And I think that's why we make better friends than y'all, because everything is, and as a little boy, everything is built around your friends. Fun with friends. You talk about girls with your friends. You look at girls with your friends. Hey, man. Hey, we don't start thinking about clothes until we start involving with y'all, because you get some new shoes, time to race. These are not good shoes until I beat Rated Kev in this race. And then if you beat him, half of you beating him is he psyched out because he going, yeah, damn, he do got some new shoes. And then you race him and you beat him, man, those some nice shoes. Now I got to go bug my mama to get some of these HRaps. So now we friends. It's everything in life is built around friends. And y'all universe, and from our perspective, is a me, me, me universe. I'm cuter than you. My shoes look better than your shoes. And look. If you and your homeboy got the same shoes on, that creates a tie. Like, you see, like with me and Craig, we used to wear Air Force Ones. I used to violate the TSP rules, but forgive me, but that was 20 years ago. Forget it. We wore Air Force Ones. It was almost like, oh, you got those. Now I got to get it's everything is created in our minds to connect us. And y'all want to stand alone. You know she had the same shirt on that I did. And dudes sitting there like, that's your girl. Why wouldn't she? She respects your taste. And y'all take it as an offense. So I think that's why we make better friends. Ready to care, the floor is yours.
Well, I'm glad I went second because I was able to refine my thoughts. It might not have came off right. So let me put it like this. Okay, I think what you're asking, Charlotte, is do men make better friends than women? And I think in the bare essence, I don't think so. I think the difference is how we interact with each other. And that's what Brian was relating to, right? So I think, you know, we are different. We are all human, but we are different species. Okay? We think differently. We interact differently. We're just different. Not even individuals. We're different genders, and it's not just, you know, the physical side. It's the mental side, right? Because women are more detail oriented, right? Every little thing means something to them and is important to them, right? So in that relationship, right, every little thing is, you know, considered. So if you have on a shirt someone doesn't like, right, there's a little comment about that, and that could affect your friendship because it's important to you that everyone likes my shirt. So anyone that says anything about my shirt isn't my friend. And then you might not say it, but in the back of your mind, you hold it and you say, yeah, but she didn't like my shirt the other day, so I don't know if I can really trust her, right? Men, we don't give a damn, right? We can care less. It doesn't matter. Like HRap said, as long as that shirt helped me jump higher, I'm good. That's all that matters to us, right? We can care less how it looks, okay? Women are, and the beauty of women is that you take details, and you take them seriously, right? And that's a blessing, right? But it also, some blessings could be a curse, right? Because you take those details and you emphasize them more than the importance of those details, right? And that can interact in how those friendships are you know, fostered, right? Whereas men, we are blunt. We don't have time for that, right? Our basic, you know, existence is to, you know, be providers, to you know, take care of issues, and we ain't got time for all the nonsense. Because one thing, we don't care about all that. We just worry about, hey, you know, are we gonna be able to pay this next bill? The mortgage bill? You know, we're thinking about so many other things that we don't think about what happened 3 months ago. Another thing, look, you guys are smarter than this, okay? You guys are smarter than this, all right? We don't have the mental capacity to keep all that stuff in, right? We are, look, once it goes in, and we deal with it, it goes out, okay? Because we got something else coming in that we got to deal with, right? And we really don't emphasize the details. We are more, okay, identify this person as a friend, identify he has an issue, we solve that issue, okay, let's go on, let's move on, you know? And it's just the differences in us as people, you know? So I don't think it's like we make better friends, it's just that how we relate to each other is different. And I think it's simple. And because it's simple, it may seem better. But at
Yeah.
I don't think you can say it's better. It's just different. And sometimes we recognize things that are easy and simple as being better. And I don't necessarily think that's always the case. Because how many times you really like someone to really look at the details, the things that are important to you, and that guy's just like, you don't get it. You don't understand. You know what I'm saying? I spent all this time getting my hair done, and he ain't even mentioned. You know what I'm saying? So that's, it's a gift and a curse. So I think it's better. It's just different.
Hey, Charlotte, this is what Kirby just sent me. He thought he was going to send it to me, and I wasn't going to pull it up. I'm going to put it on the screen. When they come up, I'm going to put it on the screen. Yeah, I'm snitching on you. I'm gonna make you hold them to you. Hold them to that. There you go.
You send me some Uber Eats? Okay, did something go over my head?
No, he's saying you're doing so great, he's gonna send you lunch.
Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you.
Yeah.
Teachers like to eat. Thank you both for answering that. Can I ask you one more question?
Sure.
So, just because this has come up a couple of times in my mind, only because, not all the time though, because sin comes on sometimes as well, but do you think that men and women can truly be friends?
Sure.
Yeah.
Like that we
I'll
were
answer
talking
that.
about.
Yes, I think so. I think you have to be secure with yourself, with who you are, and how can I put this? Sometimes people get it mixed up in, well, if a man and a woman have a relationship, it has to be physical, and I think that's nonsense, because if that's the case, then if you're in a relationship, how can you ever trust your partner? They work with people in the opposite sex, they interact with people in the opposite sex, so if you can't have those barriers, if automatically in your mind, hey, this person is attractive, this person is friendly, I'm sexually attracted to that person. To me, that's just nonsense. To me, that's extremely childish. That's like beyond teenage years. You know what I'm saying? I think adults can be friends. In fact, like my wife, she's in the trucking industry, where she was in the trucking industry like me. It's dominated by men, right? And so before I met her, she had multiple friends that were male. They didn't have any sexual relationship. They were just friends, right? And I had to come to an understanding that, okay, these are legitimate friends that are not trying to get each other pains, right? And I think a lot of it has to do with you. How confident are you in knowing that my partner is being honest in what they're presenting? They're presenting this person as a true friend, or they just try to be, slick, right? So I definitely believe that I think it's a benefit, because if I have a female friend that I can bounce some ideas off, it'll help my relationship with my wife. You know what I'm saying? You can benefit from the way they think. We just talked about it. The details that I may not consider, I can go to my female friend and say, why is she upset about this? Yeah, she knows her shoes. Oh, I didn't think about her shoes. You see what I'm saying? So I think it's very childish to think that men and women can't be friends. I think it's a relationship that could truly benefit you in so many ways. So I think it's possible if you're not childish. Childish and just want to play, then obviously it ain't gonna work. But if you're an adult, I don't see any reason why men and women can't be friends.
I totally agree. I have dozens of women friends, and it's just you learn like if you are a person who's looking for a significant other, your women friends can tell you who that person is that you are eyeing right now. Hey, nah, you know, you are too good for that person. That person may be able to, if you're not astute enough, that person may be able to show you that second face and you can go for it. And your female friend or your male friend will go, don't trust them. Don't do it. And it's always something that women, like dudes, you can go, oh, that's my friend. And your male friend will be like, nah, what I call them is satellites. And what I mean by satellites, they just hovering around, waiting on HRap to drop the ball, and then they swoop in. So it could be a satellite. Women are satellites as well. They some dudes sit around like, I hate this. I'm not even gonna say that. Some dudes will complain to a satellite about their situation, and she will give him just enough poison to sever ties with that other person. And I've been witness to it. I've literally watched two people at lunch. I'm on this side of the lunch table, and they were on these two sides of the lunch table, and I've watched them go. And I've listened to the advice that the woman gave him because I knew she was digging him. And I go, nah, if you say that at home, my couch is real comfortable. You're going to need it. But I didn't say anything because then that would have messed up the friendship between me and the woman. So I had to stay neutral. So yeah, men and women can be friends. And like Kev said, you might be missing something. And a good friend would be like, hey, you dropping the ball right there. And or from either side of the aisle. But yeah, I want to go. That filter, boy. That yeah, the good thing that filter kicked in, because I might get punched in the nose later. But I definitely think men and women can be friends, and as Ray the Kev said, I think it's vital. I think it's vital for men and women to have communications that are not, and the end result is not to be sexually active, because you may say something that in our world, me and Kev can have a conversation. Man, shut up. Like, okay, for example, I'm asking you directly, Charlotte. How would you feel if you came up with an idea and one of your ladies' friends says, man, that was the stupidest shit I ever heard in my life? You would be offended. I've had that conversation, and it didn't bother me. It was like, but here's the difference. Again, this is a difference in men and women friendships. That man said that to me when my idea came, time matriculated, my idea came to fruition. He called me, and I forgot, and said, bro, you were right. And that's why you need a woman as a friend, and women need men as friends, because I may say something to Charlotte and it's wildly offensive, but my woman friend will go, hey, you shouldn't have said that to Charlotte. Charlotte, that was disrespectful. She didn't take it the way you said it. And you go, oh, I was just talking. And you might say something to a man, and he go, really? And he said in his head, really? You gonna be that disrespectful? But that's just the way you and your friends talk. And you like, or like me, I'm horrible at flirting. I mean, being flirted with. It's over my head. And I've had women friends go, she like you. I'm like, no, she don't. She say she my friend. And because I'm a dude, it's like, nah, that ain't how you flirt. But that's how y'all flirt. And it's a whole nother language. So yeah, I think it's necessary. And yeah, this dude is texting me, and I'm not saying that on air. But great question, Charlotte. I love those questions. You got some more?
No, but let me just answer your question.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't mind you saying that to me, but I think as women, it's the way idea, but don't make me feel like real stupid.
But see,
when you tell me, because then I'll be hurt.
See, that's the thing.
But my feelings will really genuinely be hurt. Like, man, Brian just called me stupid.
But see, that's the thing. You know what? Rated Kev is right, because we don't speak the same language.
Right.
I could tell Rated Kev, man, get your ass. And that means nothing to him. But if I tell you, get your ass, you really like, he don't want to be my friend. And it's like, no. That means...
What did I do?
Right.
All these years, he's never talked to me like that.
Yeah, no, it's like, nah, yeah. Rated Kev was spot on with that. It's we definitely speak a whole. I mean, both of us speak English, but I'm gonna call it Manglish and Wonglish. It's just, oh my, hey boy, I have ruined some situations with the way I speak.
No, but I'm glad. See, now I know. If you say that's the stupidest thing you ever said, I'm gonna be like, okay, Brian's not hurting my feelings. He's just talking to me in his man language.
Yeah, I would never say that. You know, not at 51, I would never say that. But in my 30s, I would have said, you know what, Charlie, you've always been so nice. I couldn't choke that out. But I have told some people. And okay, let me give you an example of what you mean, Charlie. What I'm talking about. I've had somebody. I don't have a poker face, so I had somebody say something, and I looked at them like, "Shut your stupid ass." And that person told me, you know, sometimes you make me feel stupid. I was like, and I said to myself, shut your stupid ass up. In my mind. But then I talked to a friend, and it was like, Ron Coleman, my barber. Oh, no, sis. He was like, hey, man, B, you make people feel stupid all the time. You don't try to do it, but you do it. And I was like, really? So, yes. But I'm so...
You on the face, though, because I don't have that poker face either.
Yeah.
Speaks volumes.
Yeah, yes. I just like... Hey, I'm getting entertained on my phone. Okay, you can answer now.
No, but thank you. Thank you both. I just had to throw those questions in there.
I love it.
Since we're talking about friendship, I felt like we should talk on all levels, right?
Yes.
So thank you. Thank you. And thank you to everybody in the chat, too.
Yes.
I love this show. I learn every time. I told Raider Kev that every time. There's not one time when I'm not either listening to your show or on this panel that I'm not walking away with my page full of notes. Okay, yes.
And I learned I need to go get AT&T cable.
No. Thank you.
Well, we learn too now.
Yeah. It's a mutual adoration society.
Exactly.
Okay, oh yeah, the ruined friendship. How do you ruin a friendship?
Well, I think it's very easy. I think, we already established how you establish a friend, right? Trust is probably one of the biggest underlying characteristics that we're looking for, right? And once you ruin that trust, it's hard to get it back. I might not be as exact as Brian stated. Someone can gain my trust over time again, but it's very difficult because we talked about it. We have chosen you, right? And it's even defining our ability to make wise decisions. How did I think this person was trustworthy, right? And so it's like, not only I got to build my confidence back in trusting and recognizing you are trustworthy, now I also got to realize and recognize that you are worthy to be trusted again. So that's why, you break that trust, it's a huge mountain to climb. So I would say that's one of the first staples of ruining a friendship.
Be right back. I'm listening. Keep talking. I'll be right back.
So, yeah, that's how I feel. I think that trust, just breaking that trust is, I think, one of the most important things. So,
Kev. I think that's something as a person, as a Christian, the hardest thing for me is it's not forgiving, but it's that forgetting, right? So I've had a dear friend in my circle like flip on me once, to the point where I started crying and I could not stop crying. Like hours later, I was crying. That's how hurt I was. And she later came and she truly apologized. And I guess it was the, again, for me, it's always the way you say things in addition to what you say. Because I know for myself that I'm very sensitive. So like you and Brian were talking earlier about a thick skin. So all of my friends know I don't have that skin. Like it just won't grow on me. That's just how I am. So for me, it's that trust. If you lie to me, if you break my trust, if you betray me, if you just purposefully say or do something to hurt me, then that's definitely gonna ruin the friendship, because even now, years later, we are close again, but I always have that fear, right, in the back of my mind that she'll say or do something to hurt me again. So it's not even I pray about it, I work on it, I keep trying to get over it every day, but it's just like it's broken. You know, just like when I drop a dish and it's broken and I try to put it back together, it's never the same. So that's something that I keep trying to work on, that forgetting in addition to the forgiving, because I feel like that means I didn't truly forgive her, right? Because if I truly forgave her, then it would truly be, forgotten. But that's the part that I struggle with. So that's how much friendship means to me. Like, if you hurt me that badly where I'm just crying and crying because you just hurt me, it's just very difficult for me to come back to that same level, that same freedom that I had around you before. I'm always going to be a little bit more guarded. I'm going to be a little bit, fearful. And I know that it is fear. It's just fear of me getting hurt again. So and I know that's on me. That's not on her or, anybody else. But that's just something that I keep working on. But yes, that trust and that honesty, to me, that's so important. Because if you lie to me, I can't trust you. Right? Because then how do I know what's the truth and what's a lie? So those two things for me are big.
Golden said the same thing, lying. April said she don't go back and forth once the trust is broken. She's done. And I'm getting entertained big time on my phone. That's why I'm laughing. And to Golden Brooks, that's why I stepped away, because I was choking over here. My throat was dry. How do you ruin a friendship? You know what? It is. No, it's hard to ruin a friendship. Like I told you, I got that grade thing, but I continue to grade on the curve. And you being a teacher, you understand grading on the curve. And I consistently do that, and it has been to my detriment. Me and Charlotte knows who I'm talking about. And I kept forgiving, and it's just who I am, because I do a lot of reflecting, because I used to explode on people a lot. So as I've gotten older, I try not to explode, but I do think, and I will give you an excuse for what you've done. So for me, it's hard to ruin a friendship. But like April, once you get there, like I told you, it's the grade system with me. Everybody start off with an A+. It takes a lot to go down. But if you ever get to that F, I'm done. It ain't no summer school, no extra credit. You can save my life. I'm gonna be like, thanks, man. You gave me a kidney. Here, it's like, but yeah, it takes a lot. But I do believe that mistrust thing, and the betrayal, and I think that betrayal thing and the mistrust thing, you can't recover from those. When I can't trust you and you sell me out, you know. And one thing, here's something else. People always look at betrayal as I stole out of Charlotte's purse, or I was being dishonest with Charlotte. Betrayal is mistreating Ray the Kev in front of Charlotte. Disrespect. That's something that I have recently come to grips with. This person that I'm thinking of, I saw him do a lot of things to other people. And I should have just said, you know what? You in line, man. And a lot of people don't understand that. Yeah, Ray the Kev, yeah, he slapped Fred. And he punched Frank in the face for no reason at all. And he did this and he did that. He did this and he did that. But that's still my boy. No, he ain't. You in line. He's going to punch you in the face too, HRap. But you don't think, oh, no, I'm his boy. And then you, what happened, HRap? Ray the Kev punched me. But when he punched Greg and Pete and Frank and slapped Jocelyn, it was only you left. So you getting hit. So when people mistreat other people in front of you, trust and believe you are next in line. And this one person, I've seen him do it, and I don't know why I thought I was immune, but I wasn't. And yeah, so inability to stay loyal and disrespecting another human being is a problem. That's how you ruin it with me, because you don't even need to know April or Too Cute. You ain't gotta know them, but if you disrespecting them, it's only a matter of time, man. It's only a matter of time. That's why, like I said, man, one of the things I hang my hat on, and I'm proud to say it, is it ain't nobody. It's only well, you know what? He didn't even take it as disrespect. I assumed it was disrespectful, but it ain't nobody that ever walked the face of this earth or on earth that can say, "Hey, man, he was disrespectful to me." So that's how you ruin a friendship: disrespect and lying. And I guess that comes in the same thing. When you start disrespecting people around you, it's only a matter of time. Okay, here's another one. This is a complex one to me. Do true friendships ever end?
Who you want first?
Hey, take whoever open. That was a Hail Mary.
I got a long answer.
Hey.
Okay, so look, that's extremely complex, right? Because I think what sometimes we get confused with is like once we say a person is a friend, and Brian, you mentioned it earlier. Sometimes friends are for certain seasons, right? And sometimes that hurt us because we think it's for a lifetime, and really it wasn't. It was meant for that season. You know, I'm a huge proponent that God put people in our lives to help us through things, to help us grow. We as people attach those relationships and think they're lifelong relationships, when God only intended it to be for a season, right? But we want to make it for life, right? So as we grow, what and I gave a great example, and I'm not going to mention his name. He doesn't watch the show. We're not in touch like that. But when I was in high school, it was this cat. When I tell you we were two peas in a pod, we were freaking two peas in a pod, right? We didn't go anywhere without each other, right? And I just recognized that season was over, and it was time to move on, right? But I think a lot of times we attach that friendship, as close as you are, right? We attach those things. You say, "Oh, this is my friend for life," and we just want to hold on to that. And I think we got to understand sometimes it's just not meant to be, you know. And you don't have to. I mean, sometimes it will end ugly, right? But it can just be simple or parted of ways, right? Sometimes things are just for a particular season, you know. But it's so hard to recognize those things because you foster that relationship, you foster that, you know, you grow a trust, you grow an attachment, you know, you share so many things that's so intimate with a person, right? And it's like, dang, man, how could I miss this? You know, it almost becomes like an ego thing. You know what I'm saying? How did I miss that? You know, hey, it is what it is. That person was just for that time, right? And then you have other ones that I think can be lifelong relationships, you know? So it's just an organic thing to me. I think we have to recognize and understand some things are meant for a lifetime and sometimes are meant for seasons. So.
My man. Charlotte?
I agree with Raider Kev, but I think that true friends, like the ones that we were talking about earlier, right? Those our brothers, our sisters, those that we have truly chosen. I think that those friendships never die because we're constantly working on them. We show each other that we care about each other, that we love each other, how much you mean to us, and like Latasha said in her comments, yes, our friendship evolves. We grow together. You know, we are on this journey together. But I also agree with Raider Kev. Sometimes, you know, as much as we put our heart into those friendships, sometimes they're just not meant to be for life. And they do come to an end. And as Raider Kev also said, it may not even be, you know, a hurtful or a painful thing. We just grow apart. We value different things. We have different paths, different goals, different dreams, and so sometimes they don't go together. So we kind of veer off in new directions. Man, I started to say something else and I forgot. And then sometimes I know for me when those friendships grow apart because we put so much of our heart into it and I put so much love into everybody that the first thing when they fall apart is, like Raider Kev says, where did I go wrong? Man, you know, I start to question myself. Was it something I did? You know, how could I have been so wrong about that person? I really thought this, and then start doubting, you know, my value as a friend. Could I have done something differently? Could I have said something differently? Kind of like a grieving process, right? Because we've lost that friend. But yes, I'm in agreement with Raider Kev. But again, there are those levels again about those that we just hold the closest to us. I feel like those never end because we really put in the work and the time and the effort with each other. But sometimes, for whatever reason, as we keep saying, God may have another plan, and all our friends weren't meant to stay on the journey with us, and we go off in different directions.
I can't add anything to that, but I do want to address what Sister April said. Lesson learned to never go outside of your circle. I totally disagree with that. I mean, it's each his own. I mean, I'm not judging anybody, but I think we should go outside our circles because I think going outside of your circles promotes growth. Now, I'm not saying make these people your best friend or let's do the group sleepover and all that, but I think when you when you step outside of your circle, you see things that you may have never seen before. So I would say yes to that. But everything else y'all said, I can't add nothing to that. Only thing I'll just be doing, yeah, what they said, and just wasting time at that point. And it's the last question of the evening because we do have a very special episode of Theory of the Coach coming up. So please continue to tune in on Built for This Network on Spreaker.com. My man DJ Mad Knox, Chiz Roundtree, and James Earl. They'll be coming on right after this. I'm going to hit end and they going to hit start. How do you maintain friendships? I'll go Charlotte then Kev.
I think in order to maintain a friendship, you have to be considerate of your friend. Like, sometimes, you know, our jobs, stresses, things like that have a tendency to keep us wrapped up in ourselves. And sometimes that doesn't make us a good friend, right? Because we're trying to deal with our own stress and our own bills, work, family. Lord forbid you know, you have like me, like a mountain of laundry right now waiting for me to do it, or a house to clean, like all these different things and things that you know you need to take care of. So sometimes that may take you away from being a good friend, because maybe your friend calls you, you know, when you're at your busiest moment, and you just really have to take care of something and you just don't have that time that they need. It's not that you don't want to, but sometimes those things get in the way. So I feel like to be a good friend and to maintain that friendship, sometimes you just have to say, you know what, I really need to take care of this right now, but my friend needs me a little bit more. So I'm just going to put it aside. Things like that. So like, I'm going to use Raider Kev for this example, and this shows me how much of a friend he is to Brian. We were able to talk a little bit when we were having those technical difficulties at the beginning of the show, and he sacrifices his work time. He pulls over. He's behind his schedule, but he's willing to do that in order to support Brian in this show and to come and to share his knowledge with all of us, and his opinions, which I know all of us value so much. And to me, that's more than even friendship, right? That he's willing to do that. So I think we need to put that effort, and it's work, but it's work that doesn't feel like work because you love that person. So you want to take care of them, you want to support them, you want to be there for them. And so I think putting in that effort and that time, calling each other, even if you can't see each other in person, just maintaining that contact, I think is what helps maintain it.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Kid.
So what I'll add to that is that I think also it begins at the beginning when you start recognizing this is someone that I want to be friends with, right? So like I said earlier, when you're establishing, you have common ground, you have some, common interests, and you see this is someone that, hey, I want to befriend this person, but let me, throw these little things out here to see whether or not we really on common ground. It's not just superficial, that we actually do have, a person that can be trusted, a person that can be honest with, because I think that's how you maintain a friendship. I think honesty, being trustworthy, and being able to, as men, because I know, being friends with a woman is a little different. You got to be a little more sensitive in how they. But as sometimes it's difficult. It sounds complicated, but it's not really complicated. You know what I'm saying? It just sounds complicated because we're talking it out and we're actually expressing how our thought process goes, right? But I think it just comes naturally. I think that's, as humans, that's how we interact with each other, right? And sometimes we don't even recognize that that's what we're doing. But that's what we do on a daily basis. You know, we feel each other out. We test the waters, you know, and then when you recognize this is someone, they have the kind of characteristics that I'm looking for, it just grows. And then you keep it by trying to stay true to yourself, how you established it, and just keep that going throughout. Just being, like the young folks say, just keep it 100. Okay. So that's how I feel you keep, you know, by being 100.
Well, I'm going to close out because I got DJ Mad Knox coming up in about a minute. The way you keep a friendship is treat people the way you want to be treated. And that's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to be long-winded. I think that's the easiest way to do it. Treat people like you treat your mama. Respect people like you respect your grandmother. Help people like you want to be helped. Treat people the way you want to be treated. Point blank, period. That's it. That's all. And with that being said, man, again, thank you, Charlotte, because, hey, not only is Kev helping me out every week by offering awesome information, awesome opinions, and being a contributor to the show, you are doing the same thing. Thank you. And you even text me when you stuck in traffic, like that's going to make a difference. Like I'm going to say, no, Charlotte, no. But nope, not going to happen. Me and Kev have literally been in the green room saying, yeah, we just going to wait for Charlotte. So that's why I keep a video on deck so I could play the video until you get ready. So I appreciate both of you guys. This show is about friendship. YouTube display. YouTube, you know, again, I don't have any friends. I have brothers and sisters, period. I don't have any friends. I have brothers and sisters. And if you're not that, you will be. Keep being around me. You know, if me and you just met and we ain't friends yet, when we become friends, understand I have gotten out of my bed at 2 o'clock in the morning and drove from the north side of Chicago to Aurora to get a friend out of jail at 2 o'clock in the morning. So with that being said, thank everybody for being my friend, because my friends, trust me, I would, if you like anything about me, thank Dolores, Pompey, my mama, and thank my friends and my sisters. The aggressive part of me is my older sister. The nice part of me is my sister Phyllis. And my mama, it taught me everything I know, and my friends enhanced that. So my people, y'all enhance that. So thank y'all for being there for me every step of the way, and continue to be there for me every step of the way. And with that being said, DJ Mad Knox is coming on. When I hit end, when you hear Big Mo say the last word in his rhyme, Knox is going to be hitting play. Go to Spreaker.com, built for this network. Listen to our show, my personally favorite show on the network, Theory of the Culture. I know I got shows, but DJ Mad Knox has got that. They act the fool on that. We have a ball listening to them. If you want to be entertained, you want to have some laughs, tune in to DJ Mad Knox, Theory of the Culture, DJ Mad Knox, Cheers Roundtree, and James Earl. They're going to be how you laugh, and they're going to talk about culture, you know, hip-hop culture, pop culture, anything about culture. They're going to clown, they're going to have a good time. With that being said, thank you for all the support. Thank you for hitting the like button. Thank you for hitting the subscribe buttons. Thank you for clicking the link and paying attention to me, my sister Charlotte, my brother Ray Care. I will be back Tuesday with Build and Destroy, where I'm attempting to build up our community, destroy the lies and the propaganda that comes along with our community. And we will be back next week. Forgot what we're going to talk about, but it's going to be something interesting. As usual, me and Ray Care was actually talking about today, so I'm 38.5% retarded. With that being said, salute to Combat Jack, and he says, "Drink, rest in peace, Combat Jack." Reggie O'Shea, he says, "Dream those dreams, and man up, a woman up, and live those dreams, because life without dreams flows in black and white. Life with dreams flows in technicolor surround sound." People, Most of us are 40 plus years old, and if you're not, still get triple joint tea. If you get out your car and go, ugh, get you some triple joint tea, it will help. Trust me. It's only like $4 to $6 a box. Trust me, people. Triple joint tea is on point like Trick Dice. And with that being said, salute to Craig Smith. And like he always says, if I owe you something, I ain't got it. And if you need it, get it from God.
We lust for that cheese, we lose sleep, dreams of that cream. We killing our teams, they down for this American dream. Them government schemes, they turning us to hustlers and fiends. We hustling trees, them politicians smuggling green. Chasing that cheese, got everybody stressed in the streets. Pardon me for speaking freely, let it breathe. Evangelists preach the congregations out of their seats. They writing them checks for tithes now, as people can't eat. She stripping for change for school, now she giving them brain. She used to that loot, she earning, now she giving them strain. He new to this game, but hungry, so he cooking his cane. He getting that paper, but then they gave him tools to the brain. There's rules to this game, but hustlers never hustle for fame. The spirit of greed is grimy, so we struggle to change. They put us in chains and take away our African names. But if we submissive and don't resist, then who do we blame? It's all a game, man. These Europeans thinking they claim that you a victim of their game plan. You thinking they ain't, you thinking they saints. Remember all them niggas they hang. Killed our women and our children, all our leaders are slain. They gave us Obama, but that nigga was hoping for change. But Zimmerman is killing niggas, ain't he free? Shit is crazy, babies having these babies and getting checked. But keep the child from they pop to rip his heart out his chest. Our rappers was leaders and now they in the booth and the dress. Spitting bullshit and making more, but giving us less. They taking our sound and changing ours, dumbing it down. They taking our jobs and homes and they shutting us out. They taking our kids because it ain't a man in the house. They locking us down, but soon they gon' be wiping us out. They told our women they was too independent to need a man. Told our brother he was too insignificant to advance. It's all a game, man. These Europeans staking they claim that you a victim of their game plan. You thinking they ain't, you thinking they saints. Remember all them niggas they hang. Killed our women and our children, all our leaders are slain. It's all a game.
We are built for this network, for the strong, not the weak.